Okay, well this song is called Que Nadie Sepa Mi Sufrir by the band Sonora Dinamita. The first time I heard it, they also covered it because it's originally, I think, a man from Argentina that wrote it, or two men from Argentina. So it's an old song. I think it's also been covered in French, but I'm going to do it my version. It does not sound like cumbia. But here I go. Ay, vida mía. No te asombras si te digo lo que fuiste. So I've been in Canada longer than I've been in El Salvador. I visited maybe 3 times in about 35 years. So I would say I'm a tourist in the country I was born in. But I can tell you lots about Winnipeg. I play the ukulele. I taught myself 2.5 years ago during the pandemic. It was a hard time for me, and so I decided to finally take up this instrument that I had an interest in. And ever since then, I've used it to express myself and connect with my Latina roots and language and music, as well as my Canadian roots and just music as a form of healing and expression and creativity. Ya que pagaste mala mi cariño tan sincero, lo que concederás que no te nombre nunca más. Amor de mis amores, si dejaste de quererme, no hay cuidado que la gente de eso no se enterará. I was interested in learning the ukulele. I had 2 stepsons at the time, and they were taking it in school. They didn't have much interest in it, but I thought, you know what, I've always wanted to learn an instrument. So we bought one, just a tiny one. And then I got pregnant with our daughter, their sister, and I didn't do anything with it. And then the pandemic happened. I was going through a hard time, and I was like, I'm gonna learn this. And so I didn't have much to do. I was out in Brandon, Manitoba. It was really isolating. My family's in Winnipeg, and so I started to learn it, and the rest is, I guess, history. And I loved it, and it motivates me, and I'm passionate about it, whether I sing it for people or just for myself. That's how I got into it, and I love it. The first song that I learned was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star through an app, for ukulele app. And I learned it in Spanish. And so I started learning a lot of nursery rhymes in Spanish because I didn't grow up with them. And through YouTube, and so then I showed my daughter that, and so together we learned these songs in Spanish. And so then I started listening more and more to music I grew up with. A lot of cumbia in El Salvador, a band called Sonora Dinamita, and merengue, salsas, mariachi, boleros. And so I started to listen to these over and over again, and I was like, oh yeah. And I want my daughter to as well, so she can hear the language and part of her culture from my side.